I think I've finally found the balance with food and I can enjoy a chocolate, not devouring the whole thing.
You could have all the books, but if you don't know how to put it into action in real life. But also a lot of the knowledge that people think that they have or that they believe they have from what they see on social media now is probably keeping them really stuck.
You can have all the education, but if you're not integrating it, what's the use?
The beauty of the compounding effect means that even if you're only making 5% progress each day or 5% progress a week, how that compounds over time is still phenomenal.
Whatever happens, you just keep going.
Hello and welcome back to another episode. Just joking. So collectively, we've all lost a lot of body fat and we've all kicked a lot of horrendous eating habits to be able to stay in bodies that we're relatively satisfied with most of the time, that we love. Monika, 20 kilos of body fat has been gone, banished into the ether forever, unless you're planning on finding it again.
No.
No? Okay. Why are you not going to be able to find it again? Or why do you not choose to? Like, what has changed from the Monika that used to literally like zigzag up and down on the scales for years and years and years?
Actually, thinking of that question, I wouldn't mind 20 kilograms on my shoulders, really, as a muscle tissue.
Big delts.
Big delts. But I think I've finally found the balance with food and I can enjoy a chocolate, not devouring the whole thing. Knowing that I can enjoy myself with balance, not just jumping, and not sometimes I'm not really even like chew it properly because I was just throwing it into my mouth just to compensate for something else. Now, with the diet being more stable, your goals are clear, you can enjoy a bit of chocolate here and there or meals out, and just knowing that the next day you're going to be back to it and it'll be fine.
Yeah. So for you, you now trust in yourself to not overindulge.
Yes. I'm feeling very calm whenever I had like a little treat or a meal out or a takeaway. And I used to be super anxious because I just want to eat it as quickly as I can in larger quantities than I'm having it now. And that calmness came from knowing where I'm going with my fitness journey, enjoying it, and seeing results and having accountability for that.
This makes sense. So like the scarcity mindset, right? Of like those times where you eat out and it's like, I have to enjoy all of this and devour this because the next day I've got to get back on track. Because you've said, I know where my fitness journey's headed long term, I'm always going to be in shape. So you've got the trust within yourself that you can enjoy those foods, and also you can do it in moderation, knowing that you're going to be able to maintain a figure that you're happy with. That's very interesting. Was it like a penny drop moment, or did it just naturally evolve into that over time?
It naturally evolved over time and I wasn't really overthinking it too much. But the moment when I realized it, it was when I was in my first muscle growth phase. When you do eat more food, you should be eating more food because you know where you're going, right? You want to grow. And that point in time, I could eat more, but I just couldn't physically because I was full, I was satiated. I was like, wow. So I did not need that much earlier with my binges, but it was just different source of hunger driving me through. It was not physical, but mental hunger, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the psychological hunger.
Yeah.
Rather than the physiological, and you learn to differentiate between those two. And I'm guessing, Annie, you also probably weren't driven by physiological hunger when you said that you were eating half a jar of peanut butter for protein.
Yeah, I literally, it was uneducation for me. Like, I was just not educated in the slightest. I didn't come from a family of real fitness freaks. I think maybe I went the complete polar opposite end of the spectrum and became a fitness freak for such a long time because I was like, well, I have no knowledge. I have to gain all the knowledge around me. But for me, at a teenager, to think she's on a health journey and had like, it's not even just the small jars, like it's a Costco one, like a big, and it was literally just a spoon of like, I'm full, but I need more protein. Like thinking that was a really wise choice and literally being so naive of like, what do you mean this doesn't work? Like there's protein in this.
So where did you begin when it came to the education that's got you to the point now where you are able to maintain a comfortable body composition?
Good question. So when you have a moment of one extreme end of like, oh, I'm actually overeating here. I don't know about you girls, but I literally went the opposite side of the spectrum of like, don't eat, can't eat, will not eat. And I will exercise everything out of me until all the skippy has gone. Like, zilch. And then that was the moment I was like, okay, I am one end of the spectrum and now I'm at the other. Now I need to get in the middle somehow and I need someone to teach me. And I'm willing to be a student here and be like humble enough to be like, I need someone to teach me because my process is not working. And then through that, obviously we all learn that skippy is not the way forward.
It's almost like, so yours was lack of education from that perspective. I went through something similar, which is trying to cheat the system, as in knowing that vegetables, a lot of the like green leafy greens or most veggies are lower in calories. Same with fruit. So it was back when there was like the days of like Freely the banana girl, like eat as much fruit as possible, eat as many veggies as possible. So I remember for such a long time just bulking out my meals massively with all this fruit and veg, thinking that it didn't count, thinking that it was like 3 calories as well, thinking that avocado was a low carb green veg, right? And these elements of education, you have to, as you say, Annie, either go through the painfully slow self-taught way or find a mentor who's going to teach you how to do it. So when you've got the education to help you to maintain what you've got moving forwards, what would you ladies say is the other key trait, or are there any? Because I mean, if it was just education and people knew what they were doing, then we probably wouldn't have the jobs that we do. So what keeps body fat off forever and people in the shape that they need to, along with the education that they have?
I think accountability. Like we are so happy as coaches when clients wave us goodbye and then don't need us because they have everything.
See ya.
Yeah.
See you later. Because they have everything they need to maintain it. So one thing that helps them is just stay accountable for themselves.
Yeah. I've always, this is me personally, except for maybe like 6 to 8 months of my fitness journey, I've always had a coach, just because I really feel like, not even from like accountability, camaraderie, like being able to show up and say like, hey, this is what I did this week and this was really good, or like, hey, work is really busy this week and I'm sorry, but it's not kind of working, but it's okay because I know that next week will be better. It's like having just someone to speak to about it. Because if you've got no one to speak to, unless you speak to yourself in the mirror, as Annie and I were talking about earlier, like, this was a good week. Like, it's so helpful to have someone who's as invested in your journey as you are, if not even more so, because you're paying them to be.
Yeah.
I love that. Annie, what would you say?
Mine would be all the mindset and your relationship with yourself in the process. Like, just how you speak to yourself, how you like the process and what you're doing with it, how you're executing. Like, you can have all the education, but if you're not integrating it, what's the use? That's my look on it. Like, there's so many people who I adore and love that are close to me that love like reading and getting all the information. Again, this is a part of them that's like, I need to know everything. I have to know everything, but struggle to execute and struggle to integrate and like get it in motion.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'd say.
That's what we term mental masturbators, who don't quite ever get anywhere. And then also knowledge without understanding how to implement it is truly useless, because you could have all the books, but if you don't know how to put it into action in real life. But also a lot of the knowledge that people think that they have, or they believe they have from what they see on social media now, is probably keeping them really stuck. But also from what we teach them during coaching. I know this might sound a little bit crazy, but let's say a client leaves us as soon as they've finished fat loss. Monika, what happens?
Not good things happen.
And this is not because we're bad coaches, by the way. I just want to make this clear. This is not because when someone achieves their fat loss goal, that, you know, that's it. But that's not the end. What comes after fat loss?
Your body and your metabolism is such a sensitive spot after dropping X amount of weight. You can't just go back to the lifestyle that you had before or suddenly start to enjoying foods maybe a bit more, because you will bounce back, which I have done multiple times, and it's not a fun place to be because it makes you feel like you're starting from a day zero again.
If you are a busy, career-driven woman and you know that your inability to lose the body fat that you want to lose is stopping you from living a confident, successful life, then hear me out. We have just launched our Fat Loss Accelerator program, which is made specifically for women who are constrained for time, yet they want to lose anywhere between 10 to 25 pounds of body weight within 90 days. Throughout this process, we're also going to teach you exactly what you need to know so that you can maintain this result forever. That it's the lifestyle changes and the habits that you need to implement for the rest of your life to finally become that confident and successful woman who excels in all areas of her life. So if you're interested in finding out more about our Fat Loss Accelerator program, then send me a message on Instagram. Send me the words Fat Loss Accelerator. My Instagram is millie at Team CBM. The link is in description below, and I will get back to you with all the information that you need to know. Back to the episode.
Yeah. So it's getting rid of the arrogance that maybe because you've achieved a certain milestone, that's it. That maybe it's not arrogance. Some people it might be. For me in the past, it has been arrogance. I've been like, oh, I've done this. Okay, great. See ya. And then I thought that I was just going to be able to maintain it forever. This is me talking about having left a coach in the past as soon as I've achieved fat loss. And that was due to arrogance, thinking that I knew enough, but I didn't. It also could be due to ignorance, not having enough knowledge. And that's where we're recording this, to tell you that it's not just done when fat loss happens. One thing that I'm curious to delve into, maybe your perspective, Annie, is what about how you develop and nurture relationships throughout your life, and how would that correspond to your body composition?
It depends what relationship it is, because if it was coach to client, first things first is I want to know what works with you, how can I best coach you and support you. When I would rather communicate that and get that out of the way rather than discover it later on down the line, time wherever, and be like, oh, okay, now I've seen this part, now I know what to do. But if I can just be like, hey, and ask those questions, it's so much easier.
Yeah. The coach client relationship, to be able to lay it all out onto the table.
Yeah.
Be like, this is me, this is how I am, and then we can mold our approach to always match the client to be the best that it needs to be. In terms of like romantic relationships or friendships or family members, those things will and could evolve once someone has achieved a body that they're happy within. And a new person could potentially derail that. So if you had to give some future-proof advice to someone who maybe has achieved their body composition goal and then meets new people in the future, what do they need to be thinking about?
Is a big one, really, because it's like when you're on a fitness goal or a change or a lifestyle change, like I think both of you may have experienced this, like there are going to be people that will walk out your life or naturally just evaporate. Like they will just, because when you're so committed to one thing that you want, whether it is a fitness goal or whether it is a business goal or whatever it is, people will filter out, and that's okay. Like, and the ones that will come in are the ones that are more aligned. Like how, for example, how quick was it that we connected, communicated, and bang, like that happened so quick. And it's more like, who are you? Who do you want to be? And then the people will come along the way, and they are in alignment with who you are at that time, and so forth, you know?
Yeah. You will realize that your tribe starts to evolve as you become a new person, and you might leave some people behind on your fat loss journey anyway. Monika, when it comes to the word boundaries from a coaching perspective, what comes to mind as the most common reason that you have to use that word?
In terms of the time that clients have to juggle the responsibilities at work or at home, to find a bit of the time in a day to train, to go for a walk, to meal prep. And that's quite common we're picking up, right? Just, do you have some boundaries in place for you to be able to do it? Because there is enough hours in a day for you to do it, but you are pulled either through work or house stuff, and then you just no time for yourself. We've seen that multiple times with our ladies, didn't we?
Yeah. And the boundary has to be set still within the frame of what maintenance will be. Let's say if you've achieved the fat loss goal and then you need to maintain it. Okay, well, maybe in fat loss your boundaries look like this, but maybe in maintenance they're going to look like this, but we still need the boundaries.
Yes.
Because what happens is a lot of the time the boundaries just go.
100%.
And then the waistline goes as well. Because there's no more boundaries. And trust me, been there, done it, got the t-shirt. But whether that's with time management, whether that's with relationships, whether that is even in terms of who you're letting into your life, it's so important. Because if these pools start to get poisoned and there's no boundaries to contain that, then that's where it spreads into your results and we start to go backwards. So it's interesting. There's so many elements here that we've touched upon. If you want to stay in shape forever, well, you need boundaries and you need to maintain good relationships and you need to have your knowledge, but some accountability. What have we missed? What else is there if we were to give someone a rule book on things to have in place to be able to maintain a body composition they're really proud of?
That's a question for you.
Do we think those are the key pillars?
Did we say consistency?
No.
Got ya.
How did we forget that bad boy?
Whatever happens, you just keep going. I know it's such a trivial thing to say, but the most success we've seen within the team is people that did not give up. And we have so many inspiring stories from our ladies that went through really difficult times in their lives, and seeing them on the other side, brighter, happier, it's just the most amazing thing.
The beauty of the compounding effect means that even if you're only making 5% progress each day or 5% progress a week, how that compounds over time is still phenomenal. And over the last, how long has your fitness journey been, Monika?
14, 15 years
Okay.
altogether.
Annie?
See, there's a line, there's a grey area, but basically I would say actually really going for it, I would say 10 years.
Okay. 15, 10, that's 25. Tack on my 7. It's 22 years here of fitness knowledge and advice. We can hand on heart say that we have never been consistent perfectly for those 22 years. And there's been definitely times where we've been less intentional about how we're showing up, where we maybe haven't been able to show up due to other circumstances in life. But what we've done is we've fell off the horse and we've got back on that bad boy and been like, okay, let's go again. Or during those lulls, there's still been something that we've kept ticking over. And that's been ultimately the reason that we've been able to stay healthy, happy, and sexy for as long as we have done.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, isn't it?
It literally is. Because if we didn't get up and keep trying again, then we wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
So consistency above everything. Wow. So there is no way that if you achieve your body composition goals, to anyone who's at any point here in their journey, that without consistency, some support, some good camaraderie, boundaries, the knowledge and the education, knowing how to implement it, that they're not going to achieve everything that they need to. Did I miss one?
No, don't think so.
I think we're good.
Guys, we have absolutely smashed that. Enjoy the value, guys.
Yeah. There's actually one thing I want to add.
Ooh,
So you know you were talking about support and consistency, showing up or everything else. We would actually like to show up for you. Do you want to go? Yeah,
okay.
Are you open to receiving?
I am open to receiving. What am I?
So I know this is very, 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 very surprising for you because I like to put people on the edge. Well, we do. So we got you something for Christmas.
Oh no, you didn't. Yeah. This is so cute. Should I open it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
My assertive part coming out.
Oh my god, I love giving and receiving.
Never heard that. Open to receiving.
Oh, but yeah, I
quite
don't want to
good.
like trigger anyone that doesn't like to open things,
I'm
you know?
always here for presents. Okay. Oh my goodness. We've got a book. To anyone who...
No brainer. Isn't it?
No, for anyone who's listening on audio.
A book?
Sorry.
Yeah, this is true.
Sorry, this is a podcast. To anyone who's audio listening, we have a book. To those who are watching on video, 101 essays that will change the way you think. Global bestseller. Some of these pieces have never been seen, others have been read by millions around the world. Regardless, each will leave you thinking, this idea changed my life. Oh my goodness, thank you.
Yeah, you're very onto a mindset journey at the moment. As you always are.
I
but-
always am, but this is one thing that I was recently talking about, is that I'm looking for new mentors, resources, personal development coaches to help me pull apart parts of me and rebuild it in a way that serves me a little bit better. And so if this is going to change the way that I think, then that's exactly what I've been looking for. And again, something I suppose that people listening could be curious about is making sure that they're open to exploring throughout their journey, new avenues, new things that keep them loving their fitness journey for a long time, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
we have another
Book.
book, from what I can tell, for our audio listeners. It's like ASMR, like.
What's it?
Oh, okay. It's a journal. The 6-month journal for rediscovering you. A 222-page undated daily journal with weekly prompts, tools, and techniques to guide you through a more fulfilling life. Thank you so much. And this is literally what I was talking about when I talking about it earlier, when I write Dear Diary to myself, and I'm genuinely putting down all the thoughts, feelings, emotions, and the decisions off the back of it. And if that's not another prompt for everyone to keep reflecting on their journey. I'm excited to read this in 2 years' time, right? When we do our next podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. Oh, that's so sweet. I appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
Thanks for listening. Bye.